Good morning or good afternoon. Today we'll be watching a Quizzette on Quizzette 610. I know it says 608 right here. Go ahead and cross that out if it's there. Write your last name, comma, first name, today's date, and your class color. Number 1 says divide, give the exact answer, and write it as a decimal or written as a decimal. Some of you guys came to the student-led conferences, and I recommended IXL to some of your parents. Here's the code. If you actually subscribe to IXL every month, or I think you can pay it once a year, this is the exercise. These are the questions that are in that exercise, 6th grade, exercise H, number 7. If you want to sign up yourself and I didn't tell you, you can. It's IXL.com. I think it's like $10 a month, but you get unlimited practice problems in math, and they're actually really good, and it scores you, and it tells you how to do it if you get it wrong. So that's IXL 6H7. Number 2 is IXL 6G1, and then number 3 is a different one. Okay, back to number 1. It says divide, give the exact answer, written as a decimal. So we have 421 divided by 8/10 or 0.8. So 421 is on the inside, divided by 0.8. Now, if I was writing 421 like as a dollar in dollars, it'd be $421, right? And I'd put 2 zeros there. So think about it. If you have decimals, already think about, just think of them, whole numbers. You can always put a decimal after a whole number and then put an unlimited amount of zeros behind it, just like I put here next to 421. So in order to divide this, I have to shift, or I have to move my decimal place one place to the right, because I just want to divide by 8 here. And if I shift it one place to the right, I have to shift the inside one place to the right. Okay? So the decimal does matter, so I'm going to put it right here. Does 8 go into 4? No, it does not. Does 8 go into 42? Yes, it does. It goes in actually 5 times. And 8 times 5 is 40. You have 2 left over. Bring down the 1. Does 8 fit into 21 evenly? Let's see. 8, 16, 24. No, it doesn't. It just goes in twice. And that's 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. Then you bring down the next number, which is 0. But now you guys have to pay attention. So I brought the 0 down. I'm actually going to erase where I put the decimal because that's too far out. Oh, it's not wanting to erase. Okay, so this decimal, I'm going to put right here because I wrote it too far out. So how many times does 8 go into 50? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48 is the closest, and that's 8 times 6. So 6. And then that's 48. 50 minus 48 is 2. And then bring down the last 0. How many times is 8 going to 20? 8, 16 twice. And 16. And then you have 4 left over. And you could put another 0, but we're going to go ahead and stop there. It looks like it's 52.62. It wants the exact answer written as a decimal. So we have 52.62. And then you box your answer, and you're done. Number 2, estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest whole number and then subtracting. Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So the closest number that 9.07 is to, think about money, $9.07. $9.07 is closer to $9 by itself. And then $1.90 is closer to $2 than it is to $1. So we have 9 minus 2, and that's 7. So the difference is approximately 7. So the way that 5 is the cutoff number. So I'm going to give you an example over here. So let's say you had 9.50. That you would round up to 10. Okay, if we're rounding to the nearest whole number. But if we had 949, it's under 5, so that would be rounded to 9. And let's say we had 951. That would obviously be rounded to 10. Okay? And then let's see. We have another question here. I think most days you're only going to have one, but I attached a second one to Monday. It says estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest whole number again, and then subtract. Okay, so we have 5.3. That's 5. Minus 1.2. That's nowhere near 5, so that goes down to 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay. Moving on to number 3. What decimal number is illustrated? So you can do this a couple of ways. You can count each box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 out of 100. Or you can think about that in a decimal, which is what it wants. It wants a decimal. You can think, okay, 0.08, if we convert that. So if I were to divide 8 by 100, if I were to actually do this, I would see that 100 goes into 8 0 times. Put a decimal. 100 goes into 80 0 times. 100 goes into 800 8 times. And that's 800, and then it's done. So this is how I get the decimal form. It's 8 out of 100. Or I can do it like this. Each row is 10, and I counted, and I only have 8. So 8 hundredths. And this is the decimal, 8 hundredths, 8 out of 100. Now let's look at the second one. So this is 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So this is 26 hundredths. Or you can do 26 out of 100. You can reduce that, and that's going to be 13 out of 50. That's already reduced. So you can divide 13 into 50 divided into 13 is 0. The decimal 50 goes into 130 twice, which is 100. You're going to have 30 left over. 50 goes into 300 6 times, and it's actually an even 300, and that's how I got the decimal. Just to reinforce, this is how to convert a fraction into a decimal. If you have any questions, raise your hand. And again, this IXL exercise is F1.